Sierra Leone is a small country on the west coast of Africa. Like many other African countries, its land is rich in natural resources. With a population of 5.6 million people, Sierra Leone is still one of the poorest countries in the world. Sierra Leone has been gripped with a vicious civil war from 1991 to 2002. The civil war was devastating. Thousands of people died, many more was mutilated, and a third of the country's population was displaced. 12 years later, the country is on the news again, only this time it's because of the outbreak of the deadly Ebola virus. Another major problem the country is facing is the increase in teenage prostitution, which no one is talking about. Prostitution is now recognized by many in the country as one of the methods for young teenage girls to earn money. But the trade is also a very dangerous and increasingly demanding and exploiting industry, which sometimes leads to the loss of life of these teenagers. I set out in search of answers from the lawyer representing sex workers in court. My meeting is with the director of AdvoAid. Her name is Sonia Williams. She is a British born who now lives in Sierra Leone, and she represents these ladies and kids whenever they find themselves in trouble with the law. This is what Sonia had to say to me.
I don't mince my words when it comes to the treatment of commercial sex workers by the police. Some ruthless police officers who now believe that they can use the law to victimize these women and girls, and they do that.
Going to one of the places where these girls stand at night to attract the attention of their male customers. I hope I will be able to see someone who is ready to talk to me. A girl called Aisatu has agreed to talk to me. She is a sex worker. She told me she started her profession as a sex worker at the age of 12 years. She is now 23 years old. She said she decided to go into sex work because her auntie refused to send her to school to educate her, so she ran away and stayed with friends who introduced her into sex work. Since then, she's been doing this for a living. I asked Aisatu if she has any plan to stop. She said to me she wished she could, but at the moment, this is all she knows how to do to meet her financial needs. I then asked her about the danger of working as a sex worker. Aisatu told me about her ordeal and a brutal experience with men who will have sex with her and beat her up later just because they don't want to pay her. She talked about the police also, the experience she has with the police, who would arrest her and demand for money or sex. If she refused, they take her to jail. Today, I am heading to the office of the Director of Crime to ask him about these allegations of how the police treats sex workers when they are arrested. This is what the Director of Crime in Sierra Leone had to say. Is that when the police arrest this girl, they actually ask for payment for them to release the girls instead of taking them to the police station and actually use the law of the country against them.
No, I'm not sure that is true. The fact is that when they are arrested, they should be taken to the police station, and I'm sure most of the times we have matters having to do with loitering. They are arrested for loitering, and in that loitering you find maybe a mixed bag of criminals, boys who are out there on the streets, maybe just parabolating or walking out senselessly. You have women there or ladies who are suspected to be commercial sex workers. They are in that category, and they are all charged for loitering. To say they give money for them not to be taken to the police station, I cannot subscribe to that, because we have had cases in court where people are charged, or these ladies are charged for these offenses. They are taken to court, and most times they are granted bail because I think the law, the courts consider maybe they have a soft spot for them, because most times they are arrested and they have legal representation. They have lawyers, that advocate on their behalf. So they are put on bail, or most times they plead guilty and they are fined and let go and they are released. So that is what I have to say. They are giving money, otherwise they will not be taken to court. If they are giving money to the police not to be taken to court, then we will not have the cases in court.
And the police are there to protect individuals, protect citizens of this country. And irrespective of what type of job or work a citizen does, they still need to be protected. Commercial sex workers, unfortunately, are the most vulnerable and marginalized group of women and girls who are victims of the criminal justice system in this country.
I am now at the Sierra Leone House of Parliament. Today I am going to have the privilege to talk to the Right Honourable Emma Kowa, who is in charge of gender inequality as the chairperson in the House of Parliament.
Prostitution has become rampant as a way of employment for young girls and female around the country, not just in the city but everywhere else in the country. They are doing this mainly poverty, need their daily living, but because they're not employed, they are not a source of employment. They're not into any other job, maybe qualified for any other thing else, and haven't had the opportunity to go to higher level education and be employed. And even those that have gone to higher level education, many come out of the universities and stay years without any job. So this is a form, I believe, of job for these young women and girls.
After my findings in the country, you could clearly see all over the place where girls hang out in the street at night to sell themselves for money. The government claimed to be doing something to help the situation, while the police are still in denial of their brutality towards these girls. But one thing I am certain about is the fact that Sonia Williams will keep on her fight for a better treatment for all these girls.